our faces. Here we are tonight talking about the just released newest episode of Loki, episode 4. Isn't that right, Jack?
It's episode 4, and didn't I tell you yesterday? I said 4. I said 4. I said 4. Let me say it one more time. 4. You didn't believe me. And this
Yeah,
is the one time that the bad guy was correct.
you were right. Hey, we got some folks in the comments. Silhouette Animator, thanks for coming back. Nice to see you. And our man Dan showing up. Yo, nice to see you as well. Bring back the Webster guy from last week.
And honestly, it's honestly great that you guys are in the chat because we had a quick conversation before the show went on the before we went on air, and we watched episode 4. I'm sorry, what episode was it? See, I just want to hear it one more time. Okay, there we go. I appreciate that. But episode 4, and we both can admit we're like, what the hell happened?
I'm lost. I am lost. I'm glad we got some folks in the comments tonight that's going to help walk us through the madness because there was a lot to take in. There was a lot of dialogue. There was a lot of words. There was a thorough put and the loom and who knows a what's it. There's a lot of words. It kind of reminds me of this meme that I saw that was talking about how sci-fi writers just make up words and expect you to make sense of it. There's a lot of made up words here, and you just got to do the best you can.
Real quick. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you up, but real quick, because you wasn't on air last week. But what did you think about episode 3 before we just go into episode 4? Why don't you give a quick review on what did you think about episode 3 before we go into 4?
Episode 3 is my favorite episode thus far. I really enjoyed episode 3. I like that we got put back in time a little bit. We got to see that era of time. I like that we still got a little bit of lore Loki, him recognizing his godliness again. I like that. I like the little showdown between both of the Lokis. I like the introduction of Victor Timely. I thought it was really interesting to see how he was portrayed on screen and how he differs from the other kings that we've seen thus far. Yeah, I thought it was really good. And
I do want to ask you one random question, and we'll move on to episode 4 because we're not going to make this a super long show. I was on last week with Dan, Damn It Dan, and when we were on air, I sat here and said, "Why is Miss Timely or Miss Minutes so thirsty for Victor Timely?" Wasn't that wild? That all of a sudden she said, "I can be a girl."
She wants the D. For sure. She's like, I want to be a real girl, so we can hook up. And she was getting real jealous of old girl whole episode. But
absolutely.
We got to see how shady Victor Timely really is. He was shady from the jump when he was, swindling these people out of their money. But whatever it takes, get it back. I'm not here to judge, right? But when he tossed old girl off the boat because she said a partnership. A fair commitment. That's what that sounds like. And that's why he couldn't commit to Miss Minutes. And she will forever be, a scorned lover.
Oh, that's what it was. I just assumed that because she was a freaking cartoon. And he said, this is a little too weird even for me. And he sees some weird stuff.
To do with it. But he definitely isn't here for, any kind of partnership or companionship. I'm surprised, but to bring it to this episode, that he was so awestruck about what's his name? Odie? Odie, who I'm talking about, the scientist.
Oh yeah. Odie is the dog from Garfield, so because every time you say Odie, yes, his name was Odie, the yellow dog. Yes, his name was Odie. I watched a lot of cartoons, so yes, trust me when I said it. Like I said, this was episode 4, so please trust me a little bit here. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the scientist and the TVA. Right? You mean the scientist, right? I just want to be sure.
Yeah, him. And that scene of them being so starstruck to meet one another was actually a really cute scene. But it still gives me the feeling okay, just kind of like they said, which one was first, the chicken or the egg? You don't really know. So that's interesting.
I hate that question so much.
You see, but yeah, which one came first? But
I hate when people ask me that. I just say Pluto, but carry on.
but then we got to see his little model
Mhm.
of how they're going to expand the loom in order to get some more of those timelines in there, right? And that was a really cute scene as well, because not only were Loki and Morbius fighting over who has to be in the suit this time, right? Which was really funny scene.
That's a great
We
callback too.
great callback. Oh yeah, to the first episode, and the fact that Mobius was so encouraging to Obi when he was like, "Oh, I just kind of threw it together." He was like, "No, you did the best you can," and that's why I love Owen Wilson. Great characters. I love the support system he brings to the cast of characters in whatever movie he plays. Um, Yo, hey, American Dream, nice to see you back.
That guy seems very interesting, but it's great to see you. American Dream Real Estate. That's a long ass name, but thank you for being here. I'm just gonna say ADRE, and hopefully I can remember those initials. So welcome to the chat, ADRE.
But I think I wanted to go ahead. Let me go out and come back in.
So this episode was pretty interesting, right? It was so much stuff going on and a lot of things happening in this episode. As my co-host come back and it just zooms on me, so you guys have to just deal with me for the next few minutes. This episode started off a little slow for me, but it started to pick up. So you have the Lokis, or you have Loki and Sylvia, Mobius, the scientist, and then the other guy. I forget the other guy's name. They're doing all these things. They're talking about the timeline as well. Oh, here we go. Someone who actually knows how to put everything together, because I was just stalling. There she is.
To the timeline.
Just popped right in. Perfect for the Loki series. Good job.
But so yeah, a couple of scenes that I really enjoyed outside the ones we just mentioned was the scene where we get to reiterate how much Mobius loves pie. Like, that's his
Oh,
thing.
I love that.
He loves to eat, and same.
I love how, like, the world is in danger, and he's like, why don't we just go grab pie? Let's just get a fork. Let's get some pie. And real quick, before I don't want to jump too far ahead, but the ending, because I was watching the ending, I stayed for the ending because I'm a Marvel fan, right? I'm just conditioned for that. But one of the pies they showed, it was like green and it looked gross. So I said, if that's the pie,
Green pie?
what's it called?
Is it another green pie? Because they had a green pie in what, episode 2?
Yeah, well, so for the ending of it, it was a green pie. So it must be a callback that he just liked green pie, and I just think that's disgusting.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan, but I'll take pie whichever way I can get it. I'm not gonna hate on it.
No, I'm gonna hold you. I'm gonna speak for myself. I just want good pie.
Right.
But carry on. I'm sorry, I've been drinking. Go ahead.
No worries. So what were a couple of favorite scenes that you had so far in this episode?
Some favorite scenes, man. So Loki is just a weird show, I would say. You're talking about all these timelines, and it's just hard to keep up with all these things. So I don't know if this is a fave, but I'm just gonna talk about this scene right here because I said, "Whoa!" I'm sitting there, I'm watching, I'm doing a few things on my phone, but I'm watching, I'm paying attention. But there's the scene where they have, like, the TVA. They have I'm just gonna go TVA jail. I forget what they call it, but it's TVA jail, right? And you have Renslayer and Miss. I'm gonna just call her Miss Nasty. She ain't Miss Minute. She's Miss Nasty. So Renslayer and Miss Nasty were there, and they have this thing where they're talking to these captured individuals. And the scene where, and it just zoomed right in on me. Look at that. Look at my eyebrows. But they Renslayer and Miss Nasty, they're there and they're trying to recruit these individuals. I forget what the Irish lady's name was, right? But they're trying to recruit her, and she said, "No, I'd rather die than work for you." And they do this thing that they did in episode either 3 or 2, but I believe it was 3. But they have the part where they're in this small container or cube and it's crushing them, and it's to the point where even I think Disney was like, "Yeah, that's too gruesome. We're not going to show that," right? But it's so gruesome when you see how it crushed them. And I forget his name was B-52, Big 59. He looked and he was like,
his name was like like X5 or something, right?
X5. There we go. We're gonna call him X5. Well, Dan is correcting me. Irish lady equal docs. Thanks for correcting me, Dan. I wish you had the correct answer when you was the judge, but whatever. I appreciate your time here. I'll bug him every time. But that was one of the scenes that stood out to me because I thought it was so gruesome, and even the point where Disney didn't even show it, and so it just stood out to me. But was there a scene for you that stood out?
That actually, you were talking about that scene. That was a very shocking scene because I didn't expect there to be deaths like that in this series. Like, okay, they do talk about, the branching of the timelines and the timelines ending, and you know what that means, right? But for them to actually have characters that we've become familiar with, at least visually,
Sure,
being tortured to death, because that's essentially what happened to them.
that was good. Yeah,
Was shocking, even though it was very censored. But it was a heavy moment, honestly. And when we got to see how B-15 reacted to the deaths of those characters, she was distraught.
Yeah.
She really thought that she could convert Docs to the former glory, to her former glory, right?
Sure.
So the fact that she was just gotten rid of like that, that was so sad. I really felt the emotions from B-15, so that was a great scene for her to like just show her range. And again, I can't help but shout her out every time. And
Sure.
she was in that show. Great job in there. Hey, Charmaine, thanks for watching. We appreciate you.
We got a silhouette. I got a silhouette animator. He said, "Yeah, Brad Wolf is a jerkwad."
Yes, him just well, honestly, he seems to be very much for himself since his introduction. He is looking out for number one, and he's going to do whatever it takes to survive. He's a survivor, like it or not. He's a survivor. He's going to do whatever it takes.
Are you trying to sit here and say he's a Destiny's Child fan? I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give. I'm not gonna stop. Keep on survive. I'm sorry. I'm just in a karaoke mood. But yes. And just to be sure, because I'm assuming that he's saying that's the actor's name, Brad Wolf. Is that who's X5 is? Just to be sure, because I'm lost there.
Other name. That's his other name.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Understood.
So yeah, him going in and being sneaky and killing people off too. The episode was this was a very murderous episode if you really think about it.
Real quick, I was on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, and they were saying, "Oh, shout out to episode 4," and they showed a lot of like episode 4 from Disney Plus episodes. One of them from episode 4 from Falcon and Winter Soldier. That's when I forget the guy, but the fake Cap. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on his name. But he killed somebody. So it seemed like episode 4 is someone's gonna die. So if you're on a Disney Plus, don't be on episode 4 because you're gonna die. And there was a few other episodes, other shows that they mentioned, but when they showed that, I was like, yeah, that was pretty wild. I didn't realize that was episode 4 though. U.S. Agent, thank you, Silhouette. But what's his actual name? Is John Walker? Isn't it John Walker? I'm not. I don't remember. But please, what you call it? But yeah, I just want to point out. They say episode 4 is just.
Yeah, so, it's definitely a bloody episode. But speaking of bloody, we do have, or not? Can we say bloody? Let's just say red like marinara sauce.
No, it was bloody. When you hear. I just imagine blood just splattering everywhere, and that's why what was our girl name when she walked in there? I'm sorry, it's hard to keep up with names. Our girl, you said when she walked in and she was trying to convert Docs. What was her name? The black lady. I'm sorry. I come on, work with me. See, come on. B-15. Well, it's hard to remember these names, but B-15. You talked about blood all over the place. When she walked in, she said, "Whoa!" There was blood all over the place. There was blood stains on the carpet. And then Smooth Criminal played.
Specifically, closer to the end of the episode, we do have our volunteer that's going to try to fix the loom. Let's go out into outer space with the spacesuit. Victor timely volunteered to do it. And it made sense, considering he was the most knowledgeable about the prototype, is what he called it. So it made sense for him to volunteer. But as he puts on the suit, he goes out. He is instantly turned into spaghetti. The thing that they said Owen Wilson had to watch out for, he gets turned into spaghetti, like not even out there for a second. And that was essentially like their last hope in fixing the loom. Was that a shocking scene for you?
I guess you could sit here and say for Victor Timely that he just ran out of time.
Boo, boo.
No, I know the chat loves it. I know the chat loves it. I want to LOL in the chat, please. But I do want to say real quick, we got someone in the chat named Groot, so shout out to Groot.
Shout out to Groot. Hey, thanks for watching. But no, I was shocked. Like thinking back on it though, it makes sense because if King has all of these unlimited lives, killing off one of his characters isn't,
it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop him. Yeah.
Yeah. But the fact that it just happened so quickly, like I felt we just got to know Victor. Now he's gone. We didn't even get him on there for 3 episodes. But finally got in, yeah. So I know Silhouetted Animator left a comment earlier that he has a theory about the end of the episode. So I'm interested to hear what your theory is and if it's regarding Victor Timely and his untimely demise.
Oh, so you think you can get away with that? You think you're going to be the funny? Not today, sister.
These are the jokes.
These are the jokes you have to deal with on Thursdays.
These are the jokes you have to deal with right here with Top Shelf Baddies. But I want to, please when you get the time, type in your theory. We'll talk.
Here we go. He just wrote it right in the chat. See.
Okay, let's see.
Let's take a look at it.
Pulling it up right now.
Yes.
All right. Here's my theory about what happened to everyone besides Victor. Got sent back to their own lives when the TVA exploded. Oh, okay. In the sacred timeline.
That is interesting.
So you think we'll be seeing Loki on what's it called? Or Asgard? But no, Asgard is destroyed.
It's gone. Well, wouldn't it be? So let me ask. So I see scarce timeline. So in our timeline, it's blown up, right? It's no longer here. Wouldn't it mean like other timelines that it's still around? Because I'm not too sure what this means. So I'm asking out of just because I don't understand.
If we're going based off the sacred timelines,
yes,
wouldn't it be destroyed? Because isn't the
our main timeline one? Because if I'm so scarce, it could mean the main timeline, right? Is that what you're trying to get at? It's the main timeline?
I'm thinking whatever timeline that but no. Okay, so they went in the first episode of the first season. They took Loki from a certain timeline because he was supposed to be a variant in that timeline. And the area that they took him out from was after the first Avengers movie. Right? Wasn't that where he was taken from?
Who? Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
The first episode. Mm-hmm. So if he was a variant within that timeline, that couldn't have been his timeline. So that means
I didn't mean to interrupt you. My apologies. I just got in the chat the mark on public review. It says it means the timeline isn't real. So maybe this is just a timeline where if Asgard is there, it's not real. But I've seen also Silhouette says Loki is the one mystery about that, and I'm unsure about the TVA agents specifically. I think will get returned to their old lives. So I guess what Loki would make it because Loki was taken from a timeline where in that timeline he dies. I don't know about these other guys. I don't know if they died or anything like that and stuff like that. But I'm just thinking about those little things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got some random thing. 2012 Loki was taken out of the timeline after Avengers. Okay, so he was just trying to answer your question from earlier.
Yeah,
talking about Dan.
Not after Avengers, but he was a variant within that timeline. So I wonder what his actual timeline is. But Dan was saying in the comments how he feels that episode 5 is going to be Mobius' backstory, and I cannot wait. I hope so. I've been waiting for a Mobius focused episode. Y'all know that's my guy. I cannot.
I already know what that timeline is. Can I express it to you? It's gonna be the Wedding Crasher timeline. So it's gonna be him and Vince Vaughn. They're crashing weddings, and then it's gonna lead into that one movie where it was Kate Hudson and the other guy. I forget what his. I just called him Face. I don't know what his name is. I think it was me and Larry or something. I don't know. But it would be interesting to get a backstory on him because his character is so mysterious. So in season 1, he had a love or an affinity for was it ski boards or something like that. So I would be down. Jet skis, thank you. Review the chopped cheese. I had a chopped cheese before the show started, so yes, and it was good.
Are you serious? You've been throwing down on them chopped cheeses now.
I don't need you to judge me. I had one. I had one, and I fell in love. Yes.
I see.
That's why I've been gaining a lot. I've been gaining a lot of muscle. Oh, you want to give yourself credit? You deserve the credit.
Because I was the one that said I want a chopped cheese in New York, and I made you find this one. If it wasn't for me, you'd still be none the wiser.
I would have been just eating tacos. So I think I would have been wise because tacos you can't go wrong with. What we got here? Just for chopped cheese. Cheese. See? And this is your judge, by the way. This is your judge. This is your pick, by the way.
Wrong every once in a while. He's wrong every once
once in a while. I think he's made a career out of this.
But
love you, Dan.
Watched episode 4. Honestly, hold on. We do have one more comment from the fantastic Elvis. Thank you for joining us this evening. Lovely to see you here in the comments.
I'm glad you was able to reach. I was glad that you was able to reach your laptop, you jerk. It's always amazing that people under 4'11" pump their chest out and are able to do things. Shout out to Elvis and the Smurfs. Good job. I know you want Papa Smurf's job, but he's still around and he's going to outlive you. So,
well, if you like the video, don't forget to like the video and join us next week for episode 5 of Loki, where hopefully we do get a little bit of backstory of Mobius and get to see where he's from and actually identify what timeline this Loki is pulled from, because we still don't know, because it's a lot going on. So
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, and we're gonna end it, but just real quick. So Cinderella, there's an unseen part in one of the trailers where B-15 is in a nurse outfit, and I never saw that. Have you seen that?
Ooh, no, I didn't.
And he even says that I think the return to old lives things might be the case. And that could be, you might be onto something. We hope that you'll be with us next week, because if you are right, we want you to sit here and say, I called it. Not that accent. I'm pretty sure I messed that all up, and I apologize.
All right. Well, again, if you like the video, please like the video and join us next Thursday or Friday. I'm not sure what day, for the next episode of Loki. See you later. Bye.
Bye, folks. Thanks for tuning in.